Four Roses is to be commended for helping us do this. It's a win-win situation. Al gets to promote his book, and the Filson gets to raise a little extra money, and Prohibition-era whiskey comes to me quite often, and I use them for tastings like this. I would say this is just a great bourbon event at the Filson, one of many.
Thank you very much for your listening. Yeah.
This is whiskey as it was meant to be. Okay, out of the barrel, non-chill filtered, barrel strength. The book is an interesting attempt to encapsulate a lot of the things that were instrumental in making Four Roses Bourbon the brand that it has become.
Four Roses, The Return of a Whiskey Legend is the new book by Al Young. That's what we are celebrating tonight, Al. We are celebrating your book with some Four Roses Bourbon.
Good. I can't think of anything better to do it with.
It makes sense. We have a book, we have bourbon, we have two B's. What's the third B going to be?
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Of the bourbon.
Of the bourbon.
Absolutely.
How'd you come up with this idea for this book?
Well, actually, it was kind of a culmination of a passion that Terry Dino, who was one of our first executives with Four Roses from Japan, wanted to know more about Four Roses. So he challenged me to do the research that I'd already been working on for a long time, and said, "Why don't you write the book?"
And what has the return of this whiskey legend been all about? How has it returned?
Well, it's got a cast of characters that are to die for. I mean, over the brand's 120 years or better, there have just been a lot of people that have been influential in making the brand survive, not only during the days before Prohibition, but during the Seagram era, after that, and now into the Kirin era with Jim Rutledge being the master distiller.
How has it come from being this stigmatized bourbon to, one of my favorites and one of the favorites of so many?
A lot of that has to do with the directives of Jim Rutledge, the master distiller, who thought we didn't want to make bourbons that bit you. He likes a good smooth drink when he has it, and that goes for 100 proof, or 90 proof, or 80 proof, special editions. Everything we make is engineered, you might say, to not give you that bite effect. So now you can enjoy the true flavor of bourbon. And one of our slogans is, "Be mellow."
What's been your favorite part about writing this book and putting it out there?
Well, I think the interrelationship that I've established with the Jones family, who were descendants of the founders, is very interesting. They've been very helpful in providing us with some of the papers about the older members of the family. Civil War time is always interesting. The part they played in the Battle of Perryville, for example, and how they started a business out of nothing and made it into a really dynamic powerhouse, one of the last family-owned distilleries by 1941, when the last Jones that was associated with the distillery died.
And what do you hope people walk away from this book when they read it? What do you hope they walk away with?
A better appreciation of what's made us what we are today and where we're headed for in the future. Just because we've returned, we don't plan to rest on our laurels. We plan to make ourselves better as time goes by and offer more interesting bourbons.